All right. So, in this case, right, now that we have, right, the last one that we just did was we returned for those cracked mugs. Now, your question was, do we update our ledger? In this case, we did, right? We already did it through the purchase returns and allowances. This is the ledger account because right now, my items are not inventory right now. They're just mere purchase expense. We haven't converted them yet, okay? So we did update our ledger by placing it here in the purchase returns and allowances, making note that we returned for those broken mugs. Now, if you're referring to the inventory worksheet, we also have done that too. That was the very first thing that we did was we did say that, okay, we have 2 batches of inventory. We know that this return is coming from this batch here, and we already filled out this bottom part here saying that we returned 4 of those mugs at $2.46. Now, what I mentioned here earlier was if you want to, you can build your table to show your goods available, saying, okay, well, I have my first batch of 80 that's still there, but my second batch is 76. In this case, if you remember, we don't care about which batches came first and which batches came last, because at the end of the day, when we calculate it, right, we're going to calculate our total sum. So right now it's 160, right? 160, we're going to subtract out 4 from our purchase returns and allowances, and we're going to get 176, right? No, sorry. 160 minus 4 is 156, okay? In this case, it's going to adjust it automatically for us. And in this case, we're using weighted average. So at the end of the day, what we are really looking for is what is our grand total cost, and what is our grand total quantity that we have on hand, or in this case, as my goods available, right? When we calculate it. That's how we solve for our average cost per item, because in this case, we already have our total totals tallied up already. Okay? Did that answer your question?
Yes, I guess because I see that there's like a credit in the ledger, so
Mm-hmm.
I just got confused.
Oh, okay. Yes. So in this case, because a purchase returns and allowances, right, is a contra account, we would use a credit for this. But if you're talking about in the invoices and things like that, yes. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's go. So now that we have this right, we already adjusted our inventory accordingly. Now let's see what happens to the very, very next scenario. So in this case, Katie, right? Katie's Coffee Corner decides to call us up and say, hey, there's 2 broken coffee mugs that I found in my shipment order, and I want a full refund. Okay? And this was because Albert, maybe he drove not so great and he ended up knocking over, or maybe he just, while shipping, he didn't pack the items very well, so they end up breaking. So in this case, right, there Katie's complaining that she has 2 broken coffee mugs and she wants a full refund because we're the ones who delivered it to her. We're acting as a wholesaler, so we must grant her her full refund. And this is going to be, since she doesn't want her money back and she didn't pay for her items yet, she paid her down payment. She wants us to actually apply the refund to lower her amount that she owes. So in this case, instead of getting money back, she wants it to be applied to the invoice 101. Okay? So in this case, right, what is this going to be? We sold to Katie's Coffee Corner and now they're returning items back to me. So what do we call this?
The sales return and allowance.
Sales returns and allowances. Good. So let's take a look here. On the 21st, we are doing a sales return and allowances. let's go ahead and check out our chart of accounts to see what account number that is for sales returns and allowances. So sales returns and allowances is going to be account number 45,000. Okay? And because she wants us to apply it to her invoice, what does that mean? She wants us to decrease the amount that she owes me. So in this case, we're going to take it off of her accounts receivable. Okay? Now, how much did we sell these coffee mugs for? In this case, it's up to you. You can go ahead and look up the receipt here, okay, or the invoice that we sent her. Okay, so that's the coffee corner. Here you go, right? She purchased 25 mugs, grand total of $124. And
For Super A market.
that's her super, okay, yeah, okay. Here you go, Katie's Coffee Corner. Right here, we sold 20 mugs for a total of $99.80. Okay? Now, in this case, this doesn't tell me the price point. But what you can do is let's look back at what our store said we were going to sell those coffee mugs for. So in this case, right here is the price points, right? In this case, this isn't a general sale, right? We sold to Katie as a wholesaler, so she got the wholesale price. So in this case, we charged her $4.99, right? And that's the only thing that we can actually charge on her account, right? In this case, you can even double verify. Does 20 times $4.99 equal $99.80? If it does, then that's the number you're using, right? We did not charge any sales tax. And of course, you cannot return delivery charges. So in this case, I charged her $4.99 a cup, okay? So therefore, she's returning 2 of them. What is 2 times $4.99? $9.98 is what I'm going to refund. And because she wants us to take it off of her invoice, that means this is going to be applied to her invoice amount. Okay, now notice this. My accounts receivable is credited, right? It's not debited. Debited is when we increase, credit is when we decrease. So in this case, we're decreasing her account by $9.98. Okay. Now, of course, let's take a look at. She wants it to be applied to invoice number 101, right? So in this case, we have all the information we need, right? We have who. This is Katie. Katie's Coffee Corner. Okay. We have the invoice that she wants us to apply it to. It's an invoice number 101. And because we're going to give her a credit to it, put a letter C. So we know that we're making an adjustment to invoice number 101, which is the accounts receivable account that she owes me. Okay. And of course, any other details would be she's returns to okay. She returns 2 broken mugs for a full refund. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and pop in our numbers where we need to pop them in. So first, let's start with the ledger first. Okay. So then we can kind of see where that goes and how it affects a subsidiary ledger and then affects the inventory worksheet and so on and so forth. Okay. So in this case, right, we're looking at revenues because we are decreasing, right, because she ended up returning her items. So here, there's sales discount, sales, delivery income. Okay, so it's above this one. There you go. Sales, returns, and allowances, right? You have the date. Now what you want to do here is, well, it's whatever you want to put in, right? A helpful thing would be that you could have the invoice number 101C, right? And 2 broken mugs, right? We're still on the 9th page here, and we're going to debit our account because, again, sales was credited. Now we need to, this is a contra account, so you need to debit this account for $9.98. Okay. And then let's see. We have to also adjust the accounts the accounts receivable account because, right, we have less money to collect this time. So accounts receivable. Here we are. Okay. Right? You can write your invoice 101C, right? And you could say refund 2 broken mugs. Okay. General Journal 9. And you're going to credit your account for $9.98. So in this case, because I'm decreasing my accounts receivable, how much do my customers in general owe me now? What's my account balance in my accounts receivable account?
163.41.
163.41. Good. So because we're being owed less now. So let's go ahead and see how that affects my subsidiary ledger because now we need to adjust the invoice. Okay? So Katie's Coffee Corner. Today's the 21st, so we sold it to her on the 19th and she complained a couple days later, right? In this case, you can make your note saying she is returning 2 broken mugs for full refund. Okay? And of course, you need to add the invoice because she wants it applied to the invoice number 101. Instead of giving her her money back, she says, I want you to lower the amount that I owe you. So in this case, apply it to the invoice. Okay? So in this case, everything's going to still stay the same, but the only difference here is you're going to pop this in the sales returns and allowances for the $9.98. So if you did your formula correct, right, it should show a negative $9.98, which should even lower the amount on the amount that she owes. So instead of owing me $109.52, she only owes me $99.54. Okay? And same thing here, I'm going to make this note that she owes me $99.54 because of this refund. And what I have to do here is I need to reissue her a new invoice to make sure that everything looks correct. Okay? Because that's the one thing about your customers is if they ask for a refund, right? They're still going to tell you, I don't know how much I owe you. How much do I owe you? Right? So you need to reissue them a new invoice with the updated amount saying, well, Katie, now that I credit your account for the $9.98, you now owe me $99.54. Okay? So that's something that you have to do as, a person who is issuing this to their customer and a customer wants a refund. You need to do your duties to send them another notification with the updated amount so they can properly pay you. Okay? So that means Katie owes me $9.98 less. Okay? All right, for this invoice. All right. So because she's returning 2 broken coffee mugs, right? How does that affect my inventory? Can I put it back in my inventory?
No.
You shouldn't. They're broken. Well, what good is it to you to put it back into your inventory? Okay? Second thing is, in my inventory worksheet, is there a section for sales returns and allowances?
Yes.
Are you sure for sales returns and allowances?
No.
No. If it's for purchase returns, yes. But for sales, no. Because once again, periodic inventory, we don't care about our sales. We only care about what we purchased. And in this case, even though if Katie decides to just return those 2 coffee mugs completely untouched, unbroken, right? We won't recognize it until someone goes down to the basement and takes a physical count. So in this case, we don't even care to update our inventory because we already sold it, right? Especially because they're broken. It's not going to be any good to us. So in this case, what's sold is sold. Okay? So no need for our inventory update for that. Okay? All right. And that is it. Okay? So we talked about the journal, right? We got the returns and allowances. We got through the ledger. We got through the subsidiary ledger. And we talked about the inventory worksheet. Now, second question here is, does that affect Albert's commissions because he didn't do a good job and ended up getting merchandise returned for $9.98?
I don't think that would be his fault.
Good. That's not his fault, right? Things happen. It's reality. It's life. Okay, we can't point fingers saying that it was Albert's fault. Okay, so in this case, we're not going to deduct his portion of the money. Okay, what is 90 cents to him? it's or what is 9 cents to him since it's 10%, right? 10% of $9 is what? 90 cents, right? What is 90 cents to him? No, we're not going to do that. So in this case, whatever amount that Albert collects from his sales, we're going to let him keep every penny, no matter if there's a return allowance or anything like that. Okay? Because in this case, he's only getting 10%, so let's just kind of be generous to him and say, no, we're not going to point fingers and say, Albert, this is your fault. You need to pay for the damages that you've made. No. Okay? No. So in this case, Albert is fine. All right. So now that we returned Katie's stuff, let's see what else has happened. Well, it looks like, once again, Corner Bookstore also wants to complain as well and say that, well, we ordered X amount, we ordered 25 coffee mugs, now there's 4 of them broken, okay? So in this case, we're generally sorry, and he's willing to accept a 50% discount, and he wants to apply it to his invoice, okay? So once again, Albert, Okay, delivered this to the corner bookstore and somehow ended up having 4 of those cracked mugs broken. Okay, so in this case, right, we said, I'm so sorry. We are a new company. This is a new worker for us. Okay, just to make you happy, how about we give you a 50% discount off of those 4 coffee mugs? And a corner bookstore, maybe they're nice to us, or maybe this is Albert's friend. So maybe maybe they're willing to say, okay, that's fine. I'll accept the 50% discount. But this time, I don't want the money back. Just apply it to my invoice. Okay? So now I have a situation where I'm returning items, but not for the full amount. Yes. You get a question? No? Okay, so what do I do here now? You definitely will have enough space to squeeze this in.
Same thing from above, the sales returns and allowance and accounts receivable.
Correct, right? In this case, the same thing is going to be exactly from above. The only difference is the description below it. Right? All right. But this time, yes. So in this case, we charge $4.99, right? Okay. And he's returning 4 of those mugs, but is willing to accept a 50% discount. So in grand total, how much money am I actually going to be taking away from his invoice?
I got the same thing, $9.98.
Good, right? In this case, he got a 2 for deal, right? Each one were half off. So again, since he's returning 4 of them, essentially it's basically buy 2 for $4.99, and basically that's what happened here, right? He just basically got $9.98 back. Okay? Now in this case, right? We're refunding the corner bookstore. And the corner bookstore told us they want this to be applied to his invoice, number 102. You need to put a credit there because you're putting the credit back to the invoice. You're not sending him money back. He wants it applied to the invoice. Okay? And then your note here is allowance for broken mugs for 50% discount. Okay. So, same thing. We're going to go to our ledger and update our sales returns and allowances. Okay. This is for invoice number 102C for broken mugs for 50% discount. So in grand total, what is the total amount of sales returns and allowances?
$19.96.
1996. Last but not least, we also need to adjust our accounts receivable. Okay. Same thing. Invoice number 102C, allowance for broken mugs for 50% discount, which is going to be $9.98. So once again, now how much does my customers overall owe me?
$153.43.
153.43. Okay. So last but not least, we need to update the subsidiary ledger. This time we're going to be looking at the corner bookstore, allowance for broken mugs for 50% discount. Okay. Apply to invoice 102C. So general journal 9. And once again, we're going to plug the value into my returns and allowances. So again, if you did the formula correct, it should show a negative $9.98. So therefore, how much does the corner bookstore actually owe me now? They used to owe me $63.87. Now they owe me $53.89. Okay. I'm going to make a note right here. So $53.89. All right. I already have it in my worksheet here to keep in mind that when I issue out the new invoice for the corner bookstore, they know to send me a check for $53.89 because that's how much they owe me now. Okay. All right, perfect. We have time for this one last transaction here for today, and then we'll continue the rest tomorrow, okay? So here, we're going to finally deliver to Super A Market, okay? So, in this case, how do I journalize this? Delivery to Super A Market. What do we know about this invoice for Super A Market?
They placed it on an account.
They placed the entire sale on an account, and we didn't not require them to make any payment, right? No COD. Okay, so in this case, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paste the transaction that I had from previously because it's more or less the same, okay? Right? We got the accounts receivable. We sold regular coffee to them. We sold Supreme Coffee, and we also sold ceramic coffee mugs, and we charged them a delivery fee. Okay? Only difference is this is Super A Market. Okay? And we charged them on invoice number 103. And this time we also gave a different terms. We gave them a 1% discount, but they have to pay within 10 days. If not, the whole bill is due in 20 days. Okay? Okay. So let's fill in our numbers, right? In this case, I'm going to save the accounts receivable and use that as my way to measure if I made a typo mistake. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an equal sum, and I'm going to equal up all my credits here. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do here. Equal sum. Okay? So how much regular coffee did I sell to Super A Market? Okay, 164.50. What about Supreme Coffee? What about my Supreme Coffee? $179.55. Ceramic coffee mugs. I sold 25 of them to give us a total of $124.75. And we charged them delivery of $30. So in this case, does my total debits match my credits here for $498.80? Yes, it does. Okay, for $498.80. Okay. All right. So then now I need to go ahead and update my ledger accounts because I sold some inventory. Okay. So regular coffee, how many pounds did I sell? We sold 50 pounds on invoice number 103 for a total of 164.50. Okay. So what's my account balance going to be in my sales for regular coffee? $246.75. Okay. We got some Supreme coffee. How many pounds did I sell?
45.
We sold 45 pounds. Invoice number 103. Okay, for a total of 179.55. So in this case, what's going to be my account balance here? $259. Okay, 35. Okay. We also sold some ceramic coffee mugs. Let's see how many we sold. 25 cups. Okay. So 21st, we sold 25 cups for a total of 124.75. So what's my account balance in my ceramic coffee cups that I sold, coffee mugs that I sold?
396.29.
396.29. Good. Okay. Last but not least on this list, we have delivery income, because we charge to transport the items. So in this case, how much is my delivery income account balance?
90.
Yep, it's $90. Okay. And I did not do my accounts receivable. All right, accounts receivable right here. How much does Super A Market owe me? $498.80. So in this case, what's my grand total balance in my accounts receivable account?
$652.23.
652.23. Right? So we did our account receivable, sales regular, sales supreme, ceramic coffee mugs, delivery income. Right? Now that we finished our journal and finished our ledger, what is next?
Our customers and subsidiary.
Yes, we got to update our customers in our subsidiaries. So Super A Market is after Katie. There they are. Okay, Super A Market. Okay, any notes you want to put on there? Invoice number?
It was 103.
103 post reference General Journal 10. What was the terms I gave Super A Market? So when's the discount due date?
July 1st.
July 1st. Okay. When is the actual bill due? $11. Okay. No advance payments. The total amount of sales was $498.80. So in this case, let's practice the formula. You're going to take your sales minus any advance payments, minus any returns, minus any discounts, minus any payments to get you a grand total of $498.80. Okay, that is owed. Okay, on invoice number 103. Last but not least, right? We need to update the inventory because in this case, we know exactly how many pounds that we sold. So, I sold 50 pounds of the regular coffee and 45 pounds of the supreme coffee. Okay. I sold 50 pounds, okay? At what cost per item? Okay. 1.60943. So in this case, if that's my cost per item, then how much is my total cost of goods sold?
I got $80.47.
$80.47. So in this case, this is a big purchase. Okay. So that means we need to adjust our inventory because we no longer have 166.5 pounds left, right? We sold 50 of them, so we're only left with 116 and 50 pounds. But it's 116.5 pounds. Okay? You can't sell half a pound to a customer, so, right? And of course, let's figure out what my new total cost is going to be. If I started out with $276.97 and I end up selling $80.47, how much should I have remaining?
$187.50.
$187.50, which is going to increase my cost per item by 10,000th of a penny. See, it increased by 10,000th of a penny. All right, and I'm going to block this off so we don't ever pay attention. So in this case, I have 116.5 pounds left at $187.50. And I sold, it cost me $80.47 to sell for 50 pounds. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and adjust our Supreme coffee. So 621, we sold 45 pounds. Now let's take a look. Do we have enough?
Not for in the first batch.
Not for our first batch. So that means that tells us we must split this. So 40 in one batch and 45 in the other. I mean 5 in the other. Okay? So 40 in one and 5 in the other. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and make a little section here so you know this is a calculated amount. In this case, right, we already know we're going to get rid of this entire 40 batch, right? So we don't need to calculate this because we know it's going to give us $72 even, okay? But I'll just pull the formula down. Okay, $72 even. So therefore, right, that means I can go ahead and get rid of my 40 that I have there, okay? So that's going to leave me with $0 there. However, I need to calculate, excuse me, 5 pounds from this batch of inventory because that's all that we have left, okay? This is at $1.82.8, okay? So in this case, how much is it going to cost me to sell 5 pounds at $1.08 to at $1.828? $9.14. Okay, so in this case, add these totals together. It's gonna cost me for selling 45 pounds a grand total of $81.14. Right, 72 from the previous batch and $9.14 for the second batch, which is going to give me $81.14. So therefore, I need to adjust my accounts accordingly because now I only am left with 120 pounds, okay, which should yield me $219.36, right? If you do the calculation manually, like if you type in right here, if you take 22850 minus the $9.14, you should get $219.36. Okay. So that means I should have left in my inventory 120 pounds at $219.36. Okay? So for Supreme Coffee, it cost me $81.14. And for my regular coffee, it cost me $80.47. Okay? So plug that into your numbers here. 80.47. And the other one was, is it 80? Supreme was $81.14. Okay. And of course, we're going to adjust this accordingly because instead of selling it to Corner Bookstore, we sold to Super A Market. Okay, invoice number 103. Okay. So let's adjust our accounts accordingly to the cost of goods sold. So we sold 50 pounds, okay, which cost us $80.47. So therefore, what's my total cost of goods sold here so far?
$214.75.
$214.75. Good. We sold 45 pounds. Okay. For $81.14. So, what's my total cost of goods sold here? 2, 3, 4, 14. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and adjust our inventory accordingly. So here we are in my regular coffee. We sold 50 pounds. For $80.47. So what should be my ending balance? Should be $187.50. And does that match my inventory worksheet? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay. We sold 45 pounds at a total of $81.14, which should give me $219.36, which we already calculated is correct, right? We are left with $219.36. Okay. All right. So we are completely done with that, and tomorrow we will pick off from here to submit this last one here and also do the grand opening sales tomorrow. Okay. Save your work. All right, and we'll visit this tomorrow. So again, tomorrow we're just going to wrap up and finish week 3, okay?